It can look great on paper, social media, or on your resume, and you could have the amazing job, you could put on the amazing event, but you could still feel miserable inside and empty and deflated and defeated. I say before you start your week, take one thing off. And it's kind of like a little game of calendar strip poker. Can it just be a 45-minute meeting?
Does it really have to be a meeting or could it be an email?
Yes.
I mean, hello, we say that all the time, but we'd never take the ownership to say, actually, we don't need to have a meeting today. I've covered it here.
Everyone's vision of success is completely different. But if we don't actually know what we're chasing, how the hell do we know when we got there?
I'm really excited to be sitting here with Erin Stafford after just having you do a keynote speech for us. So your speech today was about burn bright, not out.
Yeah.
And I think that message resonated incredibly well with event planners. Can you just give us the high level? Obviously, the keynote was, 45 minutes, 60 minutes sometimes, but what's the 2-minute version of sort of the message that you shared today?
The 2-minute version is so many of us in the events industry or in industries that are stressful and require high performance, we live our lives by this mantra that if I work hard, I win. If I don't win, I didn't work hard enough. And it's great. It gets us a fair amount of success, but it eventually catches up with us. So everything I talk about is how do we create lives that not only look good, but actually feel good?
Yeah.
Because it can look great on paper or social media or on your resume. And you could have the amazing job, you could put on the amazing event, but you could still feel miserable inside and empty and deflated and defeated. So it's how do we cultivate tools to keep us in an alignment so that we're living a life that not only looks good, but feels good?
And give me an example of one of those tools or two of those
Yeah, so
tools.
my favorite tool, and everyone always jokes about, this is probably the one I'm known most for, is I call it just doing less, but it's really taking one thing off your calendar. And so it's all based on this quote by Coco Chanel, the famous French fashion designer. She says, before you leave the house, take one thing off. And she's talking about dressing with accessories, less is more. I say before you start your week, take one thing off. And it's kind of like a little game of calendar strip poker. And so I talk about, when you play strip poker, I don't know what you did in college, but you don't start with the most important items. You start with the little things like your socks. So what are the socks of your calendar? What are those little things that are just draining your time, your energy, and your resources? How can we take one of those off so that we can focus more of our time on the stuff that actually moves the needle, that actually is moving us in the direction we want to go?
Absolutely. And a couple things that you said that really resonated with me were just simple things like, does it really have to be a meeting or could it be an email?
Yes.
I mean, hello, we say that all the time, but we'd never take the ownership to say, actually, we don't need to have a meeting today. I've covered it here.
Yeah, or we're going to have a meeting to talk about the next meeting that we need to have. Or the meeting is automatically scheduled for 60 minutes. Can it just be a 45-minute meeting or a 30-minute meeting so that we just get in and get out and do what needs to be done and leave? Yes, I love you. I want to chit chat, but why do we need to do that in the meeting? I'll chit chat with you. Right,
over a cocktail at a different time of day.
Exactly. Yes. But we feel, and if it's scheduled for an hour, we will fill it for an hour. So
yep, as soon as you block somebody's time for an hour, all of a sudden you find these people adding to the conversation at the end of the call.
Yes.
And man, do we all know one of those people, to your point, that I can think of 5 of them in my head. I'm if they're on the call, there's no way it ends early.
Yeah,
there's no way.
They'll just keep talking. They'll fill the space. And so how do we just start carving out those little pockets in our day and making a meeting from 60 minutes to 45 minutes? Okay, that's not going to change your life in an instant. But when you start adding that up over the days and the
4 times
weeks,
in one day even, it can make a huge difference.
All of a sudden, you start having a little bit more margin in your day. And that is the word that I think is so important, because we've all had days where we're at site visits and meetings and calls and all these things, and you just feel like there's not a single minute in between to go to the bathroom or eat something.
Completely.
And when you can start carving out just a little bit more margin and buffer zone between the calls or between the meetings, all of a sudden, the level of stress just goes down a little bit. You're still doing all the crap you still had to do.
Yeah.
You're just giving yourself a little bit more buffer, and it makes all the difference.
And it's people used to be so proud. Oh, I ate at my desk today. It's no,
nothing to be proud
of. Right. Block that time for yourself. You need that moment in your day to reset, to get up, to move around, to,
get some
time
fresh
for
air
you.
or something.
Yes, absolutely. And I think too, something else that you mentioned is it's not all work related, right? There's moments in your personal world
100%
that are going to drive that same type of marginal impact, right? So even, how old are your kids? Are they old enough to do something that you've always done for them and you thought had to be on your plate, but it doesn't need to be anymore?
Yeah.
Was an interesting example.
Yeah, and can you lean on your community? Like, can they carpool to soccer practice with somebody else? Or like,
Right.
one thing for me is getting invited to all these like, well, if I had kids, like kids' birthday parties, like, do you need to go to every single one? And then also like a personal thing for me, I share this, I had a really rough IVF and like fertility journey. I don't go to baby showers. I just don't. It's too painful for me. I am so happy for you. I want you to have the most beautiful baby on the planet. I'm not going to be at your baby shower.
And that's okay to own that,
and
right?
it's like being able to say no and not let the guilt constantly run the day.
I always see those memes too of people being like, my favorite part of my day was when I canceled my plans, right? Like you see those messages more and more
it's
now.
The JOMO, the joy of missing out.
Yes,
like
the
bring
joy
it on,
of missing
baby.
out.
Yes,
I was a FOMO
it.
girl my whole life, and now I'm starting to lean into the JOMO, and I'm like, I'm kind of here for this.
I love it. I know the best is like when you look at your weekend and you're like, I don't have any plans this weekend.
Those are the best weekends.
Like, this is so nice.
And I go into the following week when I have a weekend like that, and I am like ready to take on the world. And you don't even realize it.
And it's the same thing during our week when we can carve out some of those little pockets of peace, those little moments in between. They don't seem like much in the time, but they truly add to like just a little bit more peace throughout the week.
Yes, I totally agree. And I think that, even like we try to fill every minute, and what we were saying before too about just, getting to the next thing. We were so busy filling our calendars with virtual meetings that we forgot to build time when we have real life in-person meetings to get there.
Yeah.
So I started realizing that as I'm blocking my calendar, I need to start blocking this extra
Travel
30
time.
minutes for travel time. I didn't have to do that, but now everyone has access to your calendars, and the world of which people make meetings with you is at such a rapid pace.
Yeah.
And even internally at our organization, people can see when my time is blocked, and then they just start filling in all those empty holes before I have a reason to. We've got to block our calendars.
Yeah.
Whether it's for travel, for just, morning, I like you, I'm most creative and most powerful in the morning, right? I get my best ideas and I have my most sort of like clear thoughts.
You can do the
morning.
mundane stuff later in the day, but like when you actually got to think and focus, like do that at the time when you're your best.
Right. And so, but you really have to block that time. And, calendar blocking is sort of something a lot of people talk about, but it's more than calendar blocking. It's blocking it and then being intentional with what you do with it. Right.
Yeah. I used to block out like 4 or 5 hours on a Friday, and I would encourage my whole team to do it too, because as I'm sure you know, especially in the events industry, you're either out of the office on site at an event doing site visits, or you're just in meetings and calls. You spend your whole week in meetings, and then you get to the end of the week and you're like,
I didn't get to do anything.
Done any work. I've just been on calls or in meetings. And so then you carry all of that extra weight into the weekend because you have all this crap that you haven't done.
The Sunday scaries are real, and then you just start your week
block
off
out my
backwards.
Friday and I would tell my team, like, as if they could block out at least a few hours to try and catch up on some of the work that happened during the week, so that you can hopefully go into your weekend a little bit calmer, a little bit less stressed, and you can actually enjoy it. Come back refreshed on Monday.
I find myself blocking Friday afternoons for that reason, but for other reasons, because I'm just out of steam by Friday afternoon.
Well, there's
in
that
full
too.
transparency, I'm out of steam on Friday afternoons. I find myself on a Friday afternoon getting these meetings that start adding up at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock.
Like,
I'm on East Coast time. A lot of our
o'clock.
company is all over the country. So we have people that it's not the end of their day, but it's the end of mine. And I've started to say, I am not my best self at 4 o'clock on Friday. You're not going to get the best out of me. You're not going to get those, meeting moments that matter. And to your point, then I'm going to go into the weekend feeling like I didn't even get to like close out my week because I was sitting on a call till the very end of the day. And then the Sunday scary hits. And
then if you have kids or you have other commitments, you're on a call to the very end of the day. And then you're like, oh crap, I'm 20 minutes late. I got to get there. And then you're like supposed to be fabulous at this other event. And you're like, oh my God, I don't even know where I am.
This episode is brought to you by Cohera. One of the hardest things about destination events is that you're only as good as the relationships you have on the ground. Cohera has spent years building those relationships with venues, vendors, and local partners across the country, so you don't have to. Full service destination management, national scale, people who know the market. That's Cohera. Learn more at meetcohera.com.
In the events industry, so much of what we do is, after hours for our clients, right? It's the Monday night, we do corporate, right? So it's those Monday night events, it's those Tuesday night events. And then all of a sudden, before you know it, you've got a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday night. Every night in that week is jam-packed with whether it's an event for, a customer of ours, or it's a networking event, or it's, making sure we show up to the new restaurant that opened in town because we're the destination experts, right? How do we find a moment to take a step back and figure out what is the priorities so that we make clear decisions and put the right things first?
I mean, that's the golden question. Okay. There is no perfect answer, silver bullet. Just take this pill and everything will be fine. I wish that was the case.
Wouldn't that be nice?
I know it takes time. One of the tools, I didn't talk about it today, but one of the tools and one of the pillars, content pillars I talk about often is just reevaluating success and redefining success for yourself.
Okay.
And what does that look like? So for me, one of the things that I was really frustrated with when I was in my last corporate job was I just felt like I didn't have a lot of flexibility. And I remember being so jealous of people that could go to a yoga class on a Tuesday afternoon. It's oh my God, I am tied to my desk still. I've got meetings. And but God, these people, I'm so jealous of them. And so when I shifted careers, that was something that was so important to me, was I want to have more flexibility in my schedule. And I do now. But that's just one example. Obviously, if I was still in my corporate job, as I'm sure everybody listening to this is, what does success look like to you? Is it doing bigger events? Is it bigger audiences, bigger budget? Is it doing more events per month or week or year? Is it growing your team? Is it reaching a certain level in your business, a certain pay grade, a certain title? Is it being able to really just keep work at work, and then when you leave, be present at home? Everyone's vision of success is completely different. But if we don't actually know what we're chasing, how the hell do we know when we got there?
So we have to start with defining it.
And what does enough look like as well? Because as an achievement addict over here, as I know many of us are,
absolutely,
it's never enough. I always want more, bigger, better, faster, stronger the next time, And so what is enough and what does success look like to you? That is unique to everybody. Once you figure that out, it's a lot easier to find those priorities.
How do you even figure that out, right? What questions do you need to ask
Therapy.
yourself? I know, right? I'm what questions do I need? I'm also an achievement addict. Here we are, right? Couldn't help myself, needed to have this meeting
we're going
take
to
place.
read you this Confessions of an Achievement Addict.
Literally, okay, new episode. No, new show altogether, right? But the reality is that, I don't even know what questions to ask myself sometimes to figure out what is that definition so I can make better decisions.
So there's a lot more to say on this subject. We got 4 minutes left or whatever. There's a lot to say on this topic, but again, it's going to look different for everybody. I wasn't just joking. I do think therapy is incredibly helpful. I recommend it for everybody. There are so many books that can help you on that as well, but also just simple things like, when do I feel my happiest? What are the things on my calendar that I look forward to most?
Okay.
And those don't have to be personal. They could be personal things, but they could be aspects of your job that you're oh my God, I can't wait to go do that one thing.
Or those things that you put on your to-do list and they stay on your to-do list week after week. Take those off the list.
Or that's a telltale sign that that's not your area of genius.
Yes.
So what are you curious about? What brings you the most happiness? What are those things on your calendar that bring you the most joy? What do you look forward to most every day or week or month? Those are good places to start.
And when you do those to a certain place, that's
you
success.
You can start to see what themes are coming up. You can start to see, oh, wow, I really talk a lot about, branding. I'm a marketing girl. So I love picking out the photos and the fonts and the colors and I love that stuff. You ask me to go analyze our paid ad statistics, I'm kill me now. I don't want to do that. But I will talk to you about branding and colors and photos and layouts and stuff. I love that stuff.
And just as you even said it, your passion built.
Oh, I watched
it. I watched it rise in you, and that's so fun.
But it's just figuring out the things that you like, that you enjoy, and how do you start doing more of those? And again, it's a process. This is not a 2-minute event, just answer this question, your life will be perfect. No.
Take this online quiz and all of a sudden everything is good again.
No, but it's a start.
Yeah. No, I appreciate your time here today. And, as somebody who attends a lot of events, being a marketing girl, you've been a part of many events. I would not let you get out of this conversation without the golden question that we always have to ask on Event Planner Confessions. But please do tell me, what is a confession from an event?
God, there are so many that are not appropriate for this camera or this show. I'll start there. But I mean, at my last job, so I was the head of marketing, and we obviously put on our own events, but we also attended. We had like 8 different brands under us, and we probably attended 300, 400 events, like conferences, exhibit halls, all that stuff, a million every year. I cannot tell you how many times we were out at the like fun welcome party the night before, drinking far more than we should have, waking up the next morning and like clawing our way to the trade show booth, sitting in the booth, just like,
bad decision.
Don't talk to me right now.
Coffee
feel
hasn't
like crap. Yeah, just like praying that your hangover goes away soon before they actually open up the doors and then like the people come in and you have to be fabulous,
And then you just flick a switch and all of a sudden you're fine. Here we go.
There were a lot of those, But we had a lot of fun and we drank a lot of good wine. So.
I was going to say, you've got to have the fun. It's about balance, right? It's about balance and then we all get through it.
Exactly. But it also is a fun way to get to know your colleagues better.
And that's why we meet face to face. At the end of the day, we're in the face-to-face events business, and it's those social moments that truly do often trump the business
and also
moments.
when you're in a trade show booth for like 10 hours a day with your colleagues, like you have a lot of conversations.
Yes, and to really commiserate on those dehydration feelings is kind of a wonderful thing too. So you build a bond.
Exactly.
I love it. Well, thank you so much, Erin. We really appreciate your partnership with Cohera, and we really appreciate you being a part of Event Planner Confessions.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Thanks for being here.
If you're getting value out of this conversation, the best thing you can do is hit subscribe. Event Planner Confessions, powered by Cohera, drops new episodes every other week with the people, ideas, and activations shaping the future of this industry. And if you want to see what Cohera is actually building behind the scenes, head to meetcohera.com. We'll see you on the next one.